Hello everyone, this is Greg from Mystery Honey. This week I'm going to be going and revisiting the colony that I put the Varroa treatment Formic Pro on. I've heard a lot of bad things about Formic Pro. When I posted my last video, I had a lot of people telling me things such as I was using it in the wrong time of year, which, looking at the instructions, I don't understand why they said that, but even so, it could be a possibility. I also had a lot of people saying that they were using it in a different method. So they were using it one sachet at a time. It comes with 2 sachets that you put in the hive at the same time, and you leave it for 14 days. And that should treat the brood that's under the cappings and the brood that's uncapped. And it should manage to treat them within the 2 weeks. A lot of people seem to use the 1 tab at a time method, where you put 1 tab in for 1 week, and then you put the 2nd tab in for the 2nd week. This elongates the treatment time by an extra week, because you have to wait for 2 weeks for the 2nd tab to use all of its formic acid. But supposedly it's a little bit gentler on the bees. I had a lot of people telling me that there was a lot of queen death when they've used it in the past, and a lot of brood death, and just flat out bee death as well. So I was a little worried when it came to inspecting the colony. Anyway, let's crack on and see what happens, eh? This colony's got another week of the Formic Pro to go. It's a 2-week treatment. They say most of the treatment's been done in the first 3 days, but it's good to... Okay, just making sure there were bees there, because I couldn't see any. And usually these guys come out to say hello to me. Go on, calm down. So this colony has another week to go. As you can see, all the bees are really clumped in here. I wonder if this will cause them to want to swarm, because they don't have a huge amount of space now. I took the super off. I think that's something that I'm going to be very conscious of anyway. So these guys are coming straight out to my hand. They really don't want me to be here. I think it's the weather really that's causing this, most of all. So it is absolutely lashing it down over there. I'm quite lucky where I am, because it's quite covered with the trees. It makes it exceptionally dark, but it means that the rain doesn't actually fall here when it's raining. So something interesting is that with the nectar flow, bees have finished drawing out these frames and have started doing honey. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to mark these frames that they had treatments on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a quick star. Now technically, in America, they're fine to use honey soup. The formic acid just dissipates after a few days, a few weeks. So technically I should be fine using this with fresh honey in it, but I don't really want to. I just I don't want to risk it really, so I'm just going to do some little stars. These bees are really not happy with the rain. Oh, wait. Right. Sorry, I'm going to take this off. Yeah, these guys have not calmed down because of the flow. Right. So what I want to see, some things I do want to see with this Formic Pro. Oop, it's stuck. This Formic Pro stuck there. Hang on. Oop. So that is dry, so it feels dry. So I think the treatment is probably finished, to be honest. Before it felt wet, whereas that now feels pretty dry. So I am going to keep it on. I'm just going to have a quick look. Let's see how the bees react to it. Do they move away from it? Yeah, so there's still some formic acid in there. You can see how they're reacting to it. So I'm just going to smoke these a bit. I'm going to take some frames out from here and just see if I can find any eggs. So what I want to see is I want to see eggs. I want to see cat brood, and I also want to see larvae, because people were saying that it killed the capped cells, it killed the larvae, and it killed the queen. So what I'm looking for is eggs to prove that the queen is still here. I'm looking for capped cells, so there's lots of capped cells there. Lots of capped cells there. Can't see any eggs, but I can see lots of caps and lots of nectar. So I'm not sure if, and there's loads of capped brood there as well. So I think the queen will be a bit more central. So I'm going to move this here. So these bees are really not happy with me, as you can tell, because you'd hate it if someone lifted the roof off your house when it was raining. The temperature's not too bad, to be fair. It's about 17 degrees, which for the UK is warm. That's like our summer. Just having a look. So that's a really good frame of pollen. I'm tempted to nick that from a queen rearing nuke. Yeah, why not? Just shake the bees off. Give that to my queen rearing nuke. Back in a second. Right, I'm back. So recently I've been having trouble trying to find colonies with pollen in, just because there's not been a lot of pollen around us, which means that queen rearing is a bit harder than usual this year. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this again. And I'm going to start checking the top boxes, so because I don't think the queen's come down here at the moment. So I'm just going to move these bees away from this box side here because I don't want to squish anything. I know they're particularly nasty bees, but I don't want to hurt anyone. Come on, away. Good girls. Right. Slowly slide down. There we go. Right. So as you can see, the colony has moved up here. So I've not seen the eggs yet, but I didn't really give it a proper look downstairs because they were getting a bit nangy with me. So I'm going to have a look upstairs instead. So a couple of weeks ago, the queen was here. So I'll have a look at this frames. Full of nectar, full of nectar. Queen rearing has started for me now, so it means that angry queens like this, the days are numbered. It's pollen, nectar, nectar again. So we've still not seen any eggs. Lots of nectar. And this is clearly where there was some brood, because there's still some cap brood around the outside there. So they filled it with nectar. So maybe it has killed the queen. There's still some cap brood here. So the benefit of Formic Pro is that it hits the varroa that are capped, so that are in capped cells, as well as the open larvae as well. So that's the benefit of Formic Pro. Other ones like oxalic acid, Apigard, they only hit open cells. That's why the treatment is so long. So I can see some larvae. So there's some larvae here. It's drone larvae, but it's still larvae. All the same. And there's some over here that's actually worker brood. So you can tell that from the size of the cells. I'm just going to see if I can see any eggs. Yeah, so I can see eggs. There's eggs in here, so there's eggs there. So the queen is still about. And there's some very young larvae as well. So it doesn't seem to have affected them too much. Hopefully they will be bouncing back. Ah! So we found a problem. That there is a queen cell. So what I said was it's really tight, and it's going to create a swarm. Might have forced them to create some swarm cells. It seems I was right. So that is nearly capped. It's not capped yet. Let's open it up and see what it's like. Yeah, so that is a very small larvae. So they've sorted the capping out, but they haven't actually fed her up yet. So this colony is trying to swarm because of the Formic Pro. So that to me is very annoying. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to go through all of the colony We have to shake off frames, and I'm going to have to find any queen cells I can. So that means I'm probably going to get stung. So, and it's also going to put more time on my bloody clock, which is really annoying because I really wanted today to be uneventful. Oh! Right. To start again. Ugh. Now, if I find the queen, which I don't know if I will do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take her out and put her in a nuke with some frames of bees. Then I'm going to leave them to create a queen, or I may leave a queen cell if I find one that looks particularly good. So I'm going to put these to the side for now. Right, I'm going to get battered here. I'm going to use a lot of smoke, so sorry if you can't see anything. We're just going to go frame to frame and check for queen cells. I'm not going to really look for the queen. I'm going to use the queen excluder method that I showed you. There we go, so that's empty, so I'll just move that to the side so I've got some more space. So that's just nectar. I'll shake it out anyway, just to be sure. So the only way to make 100% sure that you are seeing all the frames is by shaking all the bees off. It's disrupting for the bees, but unfortunately it's what you need to do when you're trying to find queen cells. I didn't do that the other day when I was looking at me nukes, and there was a queen cell. And I don't know if you've seen that video or not. But I found a load of queen cells from a nucleus colony that I was trying to put into the place of another colony that had died from starvation. So that was annoying. Right, so this is actually follow eggs. This probably isn't going to be very interesting, so I may skip this and make it speed up or ignore it. Not decided yet. Now, I'm not sure if it's the Formic Pro that's caused this wanting to swarm from bees, or if it's the confined space, because I did take a honey super off them, so they have been confined to a smaller box than they were wanting. So it could be that that's caused the swarm response. Look at that for a frame of brood. Wow. Ah, queen cell. It does have an egg in it. So, squish it. Move the egg. So this colony is probably going to swarm no matter what I do. So that's why I need to find the queen. So I'm going to find all the queen cells now. There's plenty of brood in all of these boxes, so I'm not too fussed. Find all the queen cells now. Go on, calm down. Get down. And then that means I've given myself a 2-week window in which I can find the queen before they start swarming. Now what I can do is keep knocking the cells down, but that again just opens up that window just a little bit longer, and the bees will just take the hint and just go. So this is absolutely jam-packed with queen cells. We've got one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. So this one is absolutely jam-packed. So another thing is, I don't particularly want this queen to duplicate, because yes, she's creating a lot of honey for me, and the bees are doing great. Oops, getting smoked. And the bees are doing really well. So this is a monster colony. But these are horrible bees, really mean, and I don't really want that to be propagated. I've got much nicer bees, especially at the other site, that I'd much rather propagate instead. So I'm going to try and do that instead. So when doing this, it becomes really disruptive. As you can see, all these bees are everywhere. They've all come to the surface like, what the bloody hell's going on? I'm going to start shaking them over here. Okay. So don't worry about the bees being all over the place. They will come back into the hive. Any on the outside will walk back through the entrance. There's nothing to worry about. So this is full of larvae as well. So this queen doesn't, it doesn't really matter if this queen is taken out with a few frames of brood and stuff like that. There's so much brood and there's so many bees that I don't think this colony will miss out much on losing her and the 2-3 weeks that it takes for a new queen to be made. Just check. Just food. Right. So this bottom box is now being checked. So I'm going to smoke them down. So these guys will definitely make their way back into the hive through the entrances. This colony has, this floor has 2 entrances, an entrance there and an entrance there. So they've got 2 points of ingress. Right. So I can put this frame back in. So I'm confident that this bottom box does not have any queen cells in it anymore. So what I'm going to do is queen excluder over the top. So it means that if the queen was in there or is in there, she can't get back up. And if she's in one of these other boxes, she can't get down. So queen excluder. Again, don't worry too much about them being on the outside. They will budge themselves back into the entrance. So what you need to do is just be very, very careful. Just vibrate. And just keep going back and forth and the bees will move out of the way eventually. Last thing you want to do is cause any extra harm to these guys. Just gentle, gentle. It's slow, but you've got to be careful because these guys, they don't really know what's going on. The natural thing for these guys would be to swarm. So they're just doing what's in their nature, in essence. This is me not wanting to lose half my colony. That's the reason why this is occurring. This isn't bad for them, this is just natural for them, this is how they reproduce. So, right. Just going to give them a quick wash because I don't want anyone to get hurt. Again, just before you drop it, just give it a quick wiggle. It should move out the way. So, there's quite a few bees there and I don't want them to get hurt, so I'm just going to scoop them best I can into their colony, or into their box. Right. So I've not closed that completely in the gap there, so there's enough space for the bees to walk out. So other trick is with this J tool, as long as it's a blunt one, just get down there and just gently guide them out if you can. Like so. That's clear. And close it up. Right. I started on this one, so I may as well finish this one. Right. So nothing, just nectar. This is the one. This is the side that I found queen cell originally. So I busted it open, but I didn't actually get rid of it. So pollen, nectar. It would actually be quite fortuitous if the queen was in one of these two boxes, because then the nuke is already made up that I need to take away. I can just replace it with another one of these boxes. Let's check this out. Let's have a quick look. Can't see any queen cells there. Can't see any queen cells there. Ciao, love. Come on. There we go. Thanks. So I think this is the frame with the queen cell. Oh, there's another one over there. Wow, look at the size of that. That's the same one. No, it's not. So there's the queen cell that I found before with the tiny larvae in. Let's get the larvae out. The really long ones. So really long ones like that they usually occur when the larvae was here originally, and what's happened is that you've shaken the frame and the larvae just got stuck in the end of the cell, so the bees have just elongated it to to deal with that. But yeah, has to go, unfortunately. Sorry, love. Oh, that rain is really coming down now. Wow. Come on, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Move them out of the way. That's the frame for this box, and all the bees are on it. So I just need to give it a quick puff. So the alarm response for these guys is probably going absolutely ape crap. Ape poo? Doolally? Crazy? It's going nuts anyway. So these guys are completely on full alert at the moment. They're trying to figure out what the hell's going on because the box has been moved. So I've just remembered that I have those Formic Pro things to go in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on top of the queen excluder. Because the queen excluders I have are plastic, they sit flush with the frames. Flush with the tops of the frames. It's a bottom space box. So there's actually about 8-10 mil space at the bottom there, underneath the frames. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them on top of the queen excluder. So I'll do that one now. Budge the bees out of the way so they don't get squished. Up you go, in you go, down you go. And no one got hurt. Good. I'll do the same for this. Up you go, in you go, and down you go. Right, so now I'm doing this box, and then I'll have to do the super, and then I really have to rush. So fun when things don't go the way you want them to. Oh, these bees are really not happy, as you can see. It's mad that these guys haven't actually stung me yet. I know saying that I always get stung, but for the amount of bees that are pinging off me and dislodged and annoyed and figuring out what the hell's going on, these guys haven't actually stung me yet. Nothing. Oh. So you may see me twitch my hand a bit. That's because I can feel the bees starting to try and sting me. So when a bee's trying to sting you, it flaps its wings very, very quickly because it's trying to stabilize itself for it to stick its butt dagger in your hand. So when I flick it like that, it just dislodges them slightly. I'm just checking this box because this is where the queen was last time, and it's a very slim chance that she's still going to be in this box, but just it is full of eggs, so it would be interesting if she's still in this box. Quick look. Now she has a green dot I put on her. Oh, this has got loads of queen cells on it, so I'll shake this off. Oh, so beekeeping monster colonies like this, it's awesome when there's no problems. When there's problems, oh, absolute nightmare. So this is one of the reasons why I don't like the Demarest split. Because a lot of the time you're guaranteed queen cells in the top box. So Demarest split is when you take the brood box and move it up to the top and put a fresh box that's empty on the bottom. Empty brood and stuff like that, and then you shake all the bees in. So it means that the queen and her bees are being moved into an empty box. So it gives them the feeling that they've swarmed. So it means that it gets rid of that swarm response, or the feeling of swarming. It also gives them loads of space as well. So it does turn them into monster colonies, but the top box always has swarm cells, or always has emergency cells in it, just because they can't smell the queen's pheromone in the bottom box anymore. Things that go up in there to feed the brood. So it's guaranteed to have queen cells. And queen cells, it's fine knocking them down all the time if you've got the time. But going through 30 colonies and constantly searching for queen cells. And sometimes if you don't catch them right, then the bottom box also starts making queen cells because they've still got the swarm response. And it was just an absolute bloody nightmare when I did it, so. No queen cells. No queen cells. Right. Time to blow these guys down. Let's cross. Like that. Out of the way, girls. Come on. I don't need to get hurt. Right. So, I need another queen excluder. As you can see, all the bees from the bottom have made their way up. I hope. Otherwise, this box is going to be full as well. But understandable, but why it's so swarmy. I'm going to go with this way first. This way, because there's less bees on that corner, so it's a bit easier to budge them. Come on, girls, watch out. So as I said, just little vibrations, just little nudges to tell them that something's here, and they'll budge out the way. And try and keep this flat against the top bars as well. Puffed you down because you guys have come up for some reason. Down you go. There you go. Oh, don't sting me. You guys have done so well so far. Better than that little nuke over there with the angry bees. Come on. So if your queen excluder lifts up like that, and just do some little taps, does the same as wiggling, and then gently place this on. Try not to get anyone underneath. So this colony is everywhere. So what I'm going to do is, at the end of it, I'm going to scoop all the bees that I can onto this crown board, and then I'm going to put them inside the top box. That's how I'm going to deal with all these bees. They will make their own way in, but you always worry, don't you? So, right, just squidge them out. They are making their way in there, to be fair. But right, queen cells. There's one right there, one that I missed. Oh, that piece of rain, that water droplet just went right down my back, so that was fun. And that's empty. I'm just going to leave that there to give me some space. So I'll look at you, shake you off. I can't imagine the queen being in the top box, but who knows. There's queen cells up here, so she must have been, and there's definitely brood up here, so she could be up here, who knows. So So if I were to find the queen, what I'd do is I would just replace one of these boxes. I'd put her in one of these boxes and take it away and put a floor and a roof on it so it's its own little nuke. And then that's job done. Crazy amount of queen cells in this hive. Again, I don't know if it's the Formic Pro that's caused this or the reduction in size, so I'm not going to lamblast Formic Pro for this, because this could just been because I reduced the size of the colony. But I needed to, because I needed to stop the honey super that was relatively full of honey from getting contaminated. Stop trying to sting me, you. I think there might be just 3 or 4 bees that are just particularly trying to sting me. The rest seem to just be trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Shake you off. There's loads of brood up here, actually. Maybe the queen is up here. Loads of honey. If you were a nicer queen. So I don't know if I've said this before, but technically it's not actually the queen that says how violent or how angry a colony is. It's actually the drones. But I still don't want to risk it, really. Look at that frame of brood, wow. So, when to add a new box is pretty much what I should be doing now, but because of the Formic Pro I'm not doing. You add a new box when the bees have filled out the majority of a super. So when these boxes are full and you have this super on top which is collecting the honey, if you see them and they're like say on 8 seams, I'd put another box on top or underneath. It doesn't really matter. I think on top helps if there's a big nectar flow, so it's coming in really thick and fast, because the bees will go straight up. You can do it underneath if it's a particularly nasty frame. So the supers that I've been putting on, they've been having a bit of issue because there's so much humidity during winter here that some of the frames have gone a bit manky, and they need cleaning up by the bees. So I think this is just food. Sorry, I thought I saw queen there. Some brood, some eggs. So this queen's gone everywhere. Yeah, so I've destroyed every single queen cell that I could find. There could be one that's just lurking somewhere that I've missed, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to smoke these down gently, because if there's honey here, I don't want to smoke it. I'm not going to be using this honey. So this honey, because it's had Formic Pro on when this honey was created, what I'm going to be using it for is for feeding colonies during winter. So what I'll do is when this super is full of food and it's all capped, I will move it to my shed, and I'll put a cover over the top, cover on the bottom, and that'll remain there until winter. And it means I don't have to feed a colony. I still have a whole super of honey, which is pretty much all. Oh, that rain's coming down now. It's pretty much all the colony really needs when it's not a buckfast. So buckfast colonies are really hungry. So you have to feed them quite a lot more compared to just random mongrels, and the majority of my colonies are mongrels. I did try for buckfast, as you saw, and they didn't really work out, so I think I'm just going to stick to mongrels. My Rainford mongrels seem to do quite well, especially in winter. The majority of the deaths that I got this year from winter were, I think it was a Carniolan and a couple of buckfasts that I got last year. Now, don't get me wrong, buckfasts are amazing at collecting honey. They do a great job at collecting honey. It's just a very hungry breed. And you need to keep feeding them. Or they will definitely starve during winter. I've also not had good luck with buckfast when it comes to mating. I don't know why. They just didn't seem to want to mate very well. So all I'm doing here is there's loads of bees on the side. It doesn't really matter, they would make their way back into the colony, but I thought I'd give them a hand. Ooh, I'm stuck to the fence. So all I'm doing is I'm just nudging them off the edge, off the side, onto the crown board, and I'm just going to push him back into the top box. It means that if the queen is here, there's less danger of her being lost. Oops. All I'm doing is I'm just scraping it along the wood. It will knock them. It doesn't hurt them though, so don't worry. Look at that. Huge colony. Move this out of the way so I've got a bit more room. Oh, and then I've got a load of stuff I need to do. Oh. I'm dreading looking at the time. Oh, falling over. Right, so that's the majority of the bees that aren't flying back in. Oh. So what I want to do is I want to smoke them down and then put this crown board on top if I can. Oh. Right. So the roof I've got is one that overhangs, so I'm going to just be very careful with these bees on here. I don't want to squish anyone. Oh. Right. I'll slowly lower this on and hopefully they'll move out the way. Come on girls, smudge. Smudge out the way, come on. Okay. So the reason that this is a half crown board in essence is because I use it on these boxes as a crown board for the nukes. Grab these as well while I'm at it. Don't want anyone to be hurt, please. Place that in. Gently, gently, catch a monkey. Come on, watch out. Dodge out the way. I remember what I said about the hook of this, just gently just go through and just nudge them out. Nudge them out the way. Come on, out the way. Once they're out the way, you can close it. There we go. So I'm going to leave the holes of this crown board open just because there's a lot of bees on top. And I don't want them getting hurt and getting trapped away. So, and there's a big recess in the bottom of this box. So, slowly, gently. Any bees in the way should move. Okay. So each layer has a queen excluder. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes the queen can be in. So I'm going to leave it a week because if they produce more queen cells, they're not going to want to swarm within a week. So the queen will be in one of these boxes next time I come. Whichever box it is, I want to lift off and take away and put on another floor and give it another roof and replace with another box for this. By that time, the Formic Pro will have finished as well, so it means that everything's been treated. The Queen's been treated as well, so all the frames that the Queen's on have been treated, so it should be fun-dabby-dozy. Right, let's hurry up